So congratulations, you finished Module 4. At this point, a lot of students run into some minor difficulties. So let me explain what those are. So once you've learned derivatives, typically the first few times you see antiderivatives may be a little challenging, but then you catch on. After a few weeks in, though, a lot of students have difficulty remembering what they're supposed to do when. So if you're running into that, don't worry, it will get better. Just go back and kind of remind yourself what you do when you take a derivative, what you do when you take an antiderivative, and how those two things work. I find a lot of students start to confuse the matter here. Again, after a few weeks in, that typically happens, and then you can kind of straighten it out again. So by this point, you want to know how to take antiderivatives of basic functions that are powers, how to take antiderivatives using U substitution. You also want to remember the difference between definite integrals, where you're finding area, versus indefinite integrals, where you're finding just the antiderivative. So if those aren't 100% clear yet, don't despair. It will hopefully coalesce better as you proceed through the next section. What's coming up next is we're going to, rather than do a whole new topic, we're going to apply a lot of what we know about derivatives and antiderivatives to some functions that we haven't seen yet in the course. So these are functions you saw last year in pre-calculus. So we're going to look at logarithms, exponential functions, and inverse trig functions in Chapter 5 of the textbook. So you'll just be finding derivatives and antiderivatives and applying a lot of what you've learned over the past 4 modules to those new functions. At this point, you can move on to Module 5.